guys, welcome to my Etsy channel where my primary objective is to help you build a thriving Etsy business. On today's video, I will be doing a Etsy shop critique on the store called Magpie Electric. So I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. By store owner Michelle. So thank you, Michelle, for allowing me to do a review of your shop. So let's go ahead and get started. So any resources that I use on this review, all the links and additional resources you will find below on this video. You will have, if you click on the text box, you have a list of different resources that you could use, from getting mockups to creating banners for your shop, from how to file your taxes, and popular videos that I currently have. So let's go ahead and get started. I picked this listing here to do an audit. And the first thing I normally talk about when I do a critique, if you've been here before and you've seen my previous critiques, is product photography. And product photography is very important when you sell in the e-commerce platform. The reason why is because unlike traditional shopping that you could go to the store, touch the item, touch the texture, wear it, use it, etc. When you shop on e-commerce platform, you're not able to do that. So the only thing that you have to go by, or what the customer has to go by, is your photos. If you want to take your shop to the next level and you want to succeed as a successful Etsy seller, your photos have to be amazing. They have to be cropped in a complimentary way. You have to make sure that the background doesn't have any distractions. You want to make sure that you showcase the item well, that when the person looks at it from first glance, they know exactly what they're buying. And you also have to keep in mind that in this era, a lot of people don't read. The first thing they do is look at visuals. So you want to make sure that your photo is amazing and compelling enough for them to stop scrolling and actually click on your actual listing and buy from you. So the first thing that I noticed on this photo is that it's not cropped in a complimentary way. When I look at it this way, unless I read the actual listing description, I really don't know what I'm looking at. Is it a necklace? Is it a pendant? Is it a earring? Now for this, it's a black wire ear cuff with leopard feathers. However, just looking at it first glance, you would never know that, or it's very difficult to understand what exactly I'm looking at or what exactly I'm buying. So therefore, my first suggestion is to go ahead and change your photo. You have to make sure that you meet the standard buys for two different buyers. You're gonna have the buyer that's actually looking for your product, and they see it, they love it, and they buy from you. And you're gonna have the buyer that stumble on your product by mistake. They see it and they're like, "Oh, I wasn't shopping for this, but I want it," and they buy from you. But you have to be able to meet both buyers' visual aspect of the photo, which you're not doing that right now. It's actually causing confusion when you look at this photo because of the busy background as well. You don't really know what exactly you're buying. So therefore, it does create a little bit of confusion, and is easily the reason why somebody might just go ahead and just surpass the photo and keep going up instead of stopping to actually look at the actual listing. So yeah, I definitely recommend for you to go ahead and change the listing, the photo of the listing. So when we click on it, you can see a little bit more of it, right? So it's a little bit more of a longer angle. Then you have a close-up photo of the top part, which is always a good thing. What I highly recommend for something like this, because a lot of people wouldn't know that this goes in the ear. What I would say is have someone wearing it. Have a picture of someone wearing it. I think that for me personally, if I see someone wearing it versus as not a real person, or just like having it like this on an actual display, it doesn't do anything for me to go ahead and buy. So I will add that. Another thing I suggest for you to add is a call to action. Just letting people know, hey, click below to learn more about the product. That way people could click. What you got to keep in mind is a lot of people is their first time using Etsy, right? Etsy, even though it does have a lot of customers, it's still fairly new, and a lot of people don't really know how to navigate through Etsy. So by you giving them that call to action, telling them, hey, did you know you could click below to learn more about this product? It's actually telling them what to do. So therefore, they're able to click and go down and read more and learn more about your physical product. So I would highly, highly recommend changing your photos as soon as possible in order to get more of an impactful and increase your impressions, increase your views, and hopefully, right, by doing those two things, you will increase your sales as well. The second thing I talk about is SEO, or also known as search engine optimization. And SEO is basically how the search engine knows what this page is about. And there's different factors that play, or different things that you do in order for Google or any large search engine like Pinterest, Yahoo, Bing, to understand what you're selling. So there's on-page factor of SEO, which is basically, do you have a title with the keyword? Is your keyword um, in your main listing description? Do you have the additional keywords distributed throughout your listing description? And then there's off-page SEO factor, which is, did you write an enticing meta description? Do you have again the title? In the title, do you have the keyword? Do you have it in your URL? How old is the listing? How many people like your listing? Are people sharing your listing? Are there any social signals to your listing? These are all things that are crucial when it comes to Etsy or any search engine deciding whether they want to put this listing on the first page of Etsy or they want to stuff it on the bottom, right? So now looking at your SEO, right? And I did this with Etsy Rank. A big thing that you did was that you only put 5 keywords out of the potential 13. So it's very, very, very important that when you are doing your keywords that you use all 13. The reason why is because the more keywords you use, the more potential traffic you would drive to your shop. So therefore, by you just using 5, you're actually hindering your store from getting found through additional keywords. So my first suggestion is to go ahead and change your entire keywords. Never do 5, always do 13. Another thing is that you are targeting too broad. For instance, wire, feathers, and black is too broad. Wire could be pretty much anything. Feathers, obviously, right? It could be a print. It could be a feather, an actual feather. It could be like what you sell, a feather ear cuff. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you stick with keywords that describe your item, right? You don't want to go too broad that doesn't describe your item, because what happens, this is when a lot of people say, well, I'm getting a lot of views, I'm getting a lot of impressions, but I'm not getting sales. That's because you're showing your product to anybody and everybody, but those people are not your target audience. They're not interested in your product, so therefore they're not clicking and buying. So you definitely would need to do your research again, redo your SEO correctly. Um, and right, even this one, leather print, you have it misspelled, because leopard is Leopard. So right there, that would cost you a little bit of traffic not showing up on your page. I also don't particularly think that's a good keyword because you're not selling a print. You're actually selling an ear cuff with leopard feathers. So it's almost like saying you sell a t-shirt but you put dress, right? It's not even close to it. So I would definitely change your SEO and just do the diligence of looking for the keywords. I know that in the beginning it could be a little bit overwhelming because there's so many aspects of doing Etsy and uploading, because you have to learn SEO, product photography. Not only do you have to create the item, now you have to post it and list it. But the more you do it, the more you get consistent with it, and the more you use tools like Etsy Rank or Google Keyword Planner, the easier it will get for you. However, you do have to put the work behind it. Once you have the new keywords and you did the research for them, you want to make sure that your main keyword is in the title, and you want to write a short caption of what you're selling, and you also want to make sure that the main keyword is in the beginning of your listing description, since that's what Google shows to people that search in the search results, or not only Google, but Bing and Yahoo. That's the snippet that they show. Now, looking at your listing description, you didn't write anything, right? So one thing that I notice a lot is that with Etsy sellers, is that we have a misconception of not doing everything in the store. We take shortcuts, or we don't fill out everything, right? And what you have to keep in mind, that even though you didn't pay, you didn't have to get a loan and do like 50,000 to open the store, it's still a business. So you have to treat it as a real business. At the end of the day, by you not having your listing description filled out completely, it just shows that either you have given up on doing Etsy, or maybe you don't know how to do it, right? I don't want to assume, but it just looks like for the potential buyer, when they go to your shop to buy from you, because you don't have a listing description, they don't know what the shipping policy is, or how they're going to get it, or what's included, or how to order. So the listing description, I highly recommend doing it. It's going to build credibility with your potential buyers. And you want to make sure you include anything and everything about that listing. So anything that you could describe of it. So you want to make sure that you include how to order, what is the shipping policy, the color, the size, the make of it. If you do have a return policy, if you do have I don't know, a shipping fee that you want to charge, but I highly recommend filling all that out. If you have additional items that go with that particular listing, mashing them up and saying, hey, just to let you know, I have additional products. That way, the potential customer sees it, and they're more prone, right, to buy from you, because they're like, oh, okay, I see other products, and I did want to get something, I wanted the matching necklace or whatever. So it's just really, really important that you go back and you fill out your entire listing description, that you describe it to the T. You want to make sure that you include everything and anything about this listing. Keep in mind, SEO is what brings the traffic to your shop. The picture is what makes the customer click on it. And the actual listing description is what builds credibility with the customer. That's what's going to make them want to buy from you. So you definitely want to do all three. The last thing I talk about is the curation of your shop, and it's the overall field of your shop. So I do like the fact that you have a picture of yourself. What I would recommend is maybe lowering the picture down a little bit so it doesn't crop the top of your head. Your logo is a little blurry. I would recommend redoing it again, or uploading it again. Maybe it was an issue when you uploaded it. I will also recommend doing a banner. If you're gonna do a banner, I recommend taking the time to either make it yourself, or if you don't know how to do it, which is fine, because I also struggle with banners, is finding someone to do it. I have links below to Fiverr that you could go and you could hire someone to do a nice banner for you. And the banner should include the hours of operation. It should include like if you have a website, your social media links, if you have any. If you were to look at other banners, or like if you were to look at the most prominent shops out there, all of them, what they have in common is that they have beautiful banners, and banners will set you apart from other shops. So if you want to take your shop to the next level, I recommend creating a banner that stands out. I recommend also creating all your photos should have the same look. So for instance, if I look at this photo, I find this photo here, this listing here, and I find this listing, and I find this one, and I find that one, right? On the Etsy search results, they're all very different from each other. So I would never think that they're all coming from the same shop. And that's called curation, right? So your store doesn't have the elements of branding, which is having the same colors. You're lacking that at the current moment. So I recommend, when you do redo your photos, to have a cohesive look. So if you want to have all of them with a white background, or all of them with a black background, whatever color or preference you pick for your shop, you want to make sure it's all across throughout all your listings. This will create branding, and this will create branding awareness. When people see your listings in the search results, they know that it's coming from your shop. However, at the current moment, because you have so many different colors and so many different pictures in the background and they all look very, very different, it's very, very difficult to know if this is one shop or just multiple shops, right? So I would definitely work on that. So just to kind of give you a recap of your shop, right? I recommend doing your photos again. I recommend doing your XE research, your SEO research. I recommend doing a cover for your shop, a new logo or the same logo but upload it because it is blurry. I recommend making sure that all your photos are curated in the same color. Anytime you post a picture, making sure that people know exactly what they're looking at, that there's no confusion of what they're buying or even seeing right here in your About Me section. So yeah, these are my suggestions for your shop, and making sure also that you have that listing description and you filled it out and you took the time to craft. I call it a killer listing description where you really go into detail of what you're selling. But these are my tips for your shop. I hope that these tips are useful for you to go ahead and start changing it. I will also do, if you're going to do a feature image, I will do all four or all three. It looks imbalanced right now. So I personally would say add two more, and then it just makes your storefront look a little nicer and fuller. So I would do that as well. Guys, if you have any tips for Michelle about her shop, I'm trying to create a sense of community. Make sure that you leave them below. Guys, if this is your first time watching in my Etsy channel and you want to learn more about growing your shop, make sure that you share this video, and then don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day.